Batman issue 129, Chip Zdarsky writing with Jorge Jimenez on the art. So yeah, last month was the episode that I did with Connor, because me and Connor talked about the last issue, and we kind of noted that this arc, and indeed this run so far, has been kind of interesting in that there's been multiple end of issue cliffhangers that have made me go, don't know how I feel about that. And then the next issue's like made it work. Like, you know, like I don't know how I feel about Zur-En-Arrh, and oh no, this actually is kind of perfect what he's done with this. So last issue had this cliffhanger that Failsafe had taken over Gotham, and it was kind of like, you know, Gotham was under siege by him, and it kind of made me groan a little bit, because one, we've done this a lot in Gotham with a lot of villains, but even just recently,
especially recently, it's like it's happening twice a year.
Yeah, you know, we kind of did it with obviously we did it with Bane during the whole you know, the Tom King run, but even after that, like I feel like Fear State kind of had elements of this, and
Joker, the Joker War.
Like, I feel like we've done it enough that I don't think this issue. Well, I think there's good things in this issue. I don't think it took away my groan of just what you know, what feels. And the sad part is that I actually think as the issue goes on, and it just becomes Failsafe chasing Batman to the watchtower on the moon and coming after him again like a Terminator, even though he's in space. I was like, this is still good. Like, why did we need the him to take over the city to do this? We could have just went straight to this.
It's just part of the story where Bruce can't be in Gotham, and like, but there was a way you could do that without him taking over.
Yeah, because you know, I kind of groaned a little bit at the like, you know, around every corner there's a Joe Chill. That was a part of the narration at the start. It's not a big deal because it's like most of the writing's good because Zdarsky knows what he's doing, but that was just one of those things where it's like, you're referencing the, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely this. I like the commentary that Zdarsky's bringing about Batman that's gone too far, but in this case, it's an android, and then we get in. He puts into the dialogue from Bruce that every time, like, this is not the first time Failsafe's been triggered because of something Batman's done, but it was Alfred that was able to shut it back down from the cave, and because of the whole scheme that Penguin played, and Alfred not being there, this is the time that it finally got loose. So I do like that.
There is two things I like about that. One, the idea that this robot is kind of Batman without the humanity and everything that's wrong with that, you can kind of see on display. So if so without his humanity, he doesn't care about the family, he doesn't care about Babs and Dick and co. So you see this very cold version that this could be what Bruce is if he didn't have that side of him.
They're just tools, because Oracle's being, you know, she's being used as basically Oracle, but she has no free will. You know, she's almost just like a computer program.
And then the other side to that is the Alfred thing, which is the idea that Alfred's the only one who could turn off Failsafe or reset him makes a lot of sense when you think about what Alfred provides to Bruce as his role. This idea that Bruce comes in after a night of being Batman and he's too distant and cold. Alfred, until the family grew to all these other characters, Alfred was the one who kind of kept him tethered to humanity. He was this family figure for him that was keeping him, his human side, alive. So this idea that Alfred was the one thing that could shut down the cold robot side of Bruce is actually kind of perfect.
Yeah, I do love that. Tethered to humanity is exactly what I was going to say too. So, and you know, that's why I always appreciate like that Tom Taylor Father's Day story with Alfred. You know, you put that in the context of here, and that, you know, Alfred really did care for Bruce, not as much for Batman. And so he wanted to make sure that he stayed, you know, not the little boy exactly, but, you know, basically his son. And, you know, Alfred served as that reminder not to go too far. And now without Alfred, not that Bruce has gone too far, but he's not untethered, but there wasn't anything there, you know, to keep that failsafe from being activated.
No, but I think failsafe is meant to be this, like, the horror story of what Bruce could be without these other parts of him. You know, I think that's kind of part of the point.
Yeah.
So you have obviously him chilling with Aquaman in Atlantis. Failsafe kind of realizes that Arthur's the only like superhero who's not kind of tried to come into Gotham. I did think it was kind of funny how they just kind of like in one line or two lines kind of like say, like most of the superheroes have tried to come and like sort of like rescue Gotham, but Failsafe set up stuff to stop them from interfering. Yeah. I'm like, that's a lot of really powerful people Failsafe's been able to hold off.
Yeah, and it's because Batman thing, but here I'll allow it because it is the robot. you know. So, but it's also to me too is like, well, the Justice League's like, well, nothing bad's happening to Gotham right now, right? So maybe we'll just leave that alone. And we'll help Bruce elsewhere. That's where I felt like Aquaman comes in.
I think it says at one point 17% of the heroes are just occupied elsewhere. So maybe that's the most powerful ones. Maybe that's why this is, went so smoothly for Failsafe. The back half of the issue I did quite like a lot though, which was Bruce is like on the watchtower. He suspects that Failsafe is going to like destroy all the teleporters down on Earth, so there's only one left, so that Bruce can only come out of one door effectively.
Right.
But instead, Failsafe, makes an attack on the watchtower, and it's actually, this is the fun action of the issue is him like coming through space, landing on the moon, stalking Batman through the halls of the watchtower. It's just really well drawn action from Jimenez. A lot of like momentum and stuff. Batman's got this big electro sort of magnetic gun to try and take down Failsafe. Big fun part is when Batman actually, breaches the airlock, or the hull, if you will, and Failsafe goes out into space, he gets sucked out, and, there's just fun stuff like that. The big cliffhanger, though, is that Batman tricks him. He kind of pulls a... Do you know what this is, actually? It's the end of Superman 2. If you remember at the end of Superman 2, Superman goes into the chamber to, like, remove his powers, because that's what Zod wants him to do. And then the little twist is that he changed it so that the chamber was the safe place that would be okay, and it was the rest of the fortress that would like have their powers taken away. So Zod and his cronies lose their powers. I've always thought that was a little bit silly, because I'm like, wait, how can you just do, like? I assumed there was stuff in the chamber that made it happen. It's not just like. Yeah,
but it's also the same movie where Superman takes the S off and throws it at Zod. That weird cellophane. So.
Well, he doesn't take it off. He just that's just a separate thing he has. He still has it on his suit. It's not like he takes it off his suit, but it's still silly as hell. True. No. I mean, there's a few silly things in Superman 2. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that, but but yeah, whatever. So Batman does this, and I guess it's still a bit silly. I guess I guess I kind of buy it more from Batman, because I buy that he's like opened up some panels and like engineered it with science, as opposed to like Superman in the Fortress and Superman 2, where I'm just like, what did he do? Put in the crystal into a slot and say, hey, Jor-El, reverse the polarity.
Here, at least with the teleporter, it makes sense that he made it the teleporter be the bigger area. Yeah. Right? To teleport that area, not where he was. It's still a leap of logic, but it's one that I can follow. Yeah.
So he teleports Failsafe back down to Earth. And he gets immediately, there's like a sort of net that lands on him, because he was expecting Batman to teleport down. And the cliffhanger is Batman gets sucked out into space, and he's fine because he's got like a little mask that comes down over his mouth and stuff. But his suit's not designed to survive the cold of space, so he tries to get one of the jets from the watchtower to come and get him, but they're all disabled and
out of commission. Yeah.
So he's like, shit, I'm in space. He's doing a Sandra Bullock. He's out on the orbit of the Earth, and he's probably going to die, but not really, because he's Batman. It's a comic book. He'll be fine next issue, I'm sure. Maybe Superman or Green Lantern will come up and grab him.
I'm fully expecting a Green Lantern, since we haven't seen a Green Lantern yet.
Sure. Makes some sense. So I enjoyed the issue. I enjoyed the continued elements that I like, which is, Failsafe being this Terminator. I like some of the kind of, the way he's treating the rest of the Bat family, kind of like tying into this idea that he represents like what Bruce would be like, kind of in the way that if you take the soul away from Angel and he becomes Angelus, like the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
There you go, you got it in.
Yeah, you got a little bit of that here with that, and I like that part. This him like controlling the city, and like the city's like in chaos or under like robot martial law or whatever. I'm like, I don't know, we've done this so many times recently that I just don't give a shit. Like I can't care about it. So
it also reminded me of Kingdom Come, where Bruce he's such a shell of who he was, and he has all the bat sentries that go through, and he keeps an eye on Gotham from the Batcave. So I don't know, maybe Zdarsky had gotten some influence there. I'm not sure, but yeah, no, I agree with Pete on that one, that it was just a little bit too much, especially in the last couple years.
Yeah. it was a good time. Like I say, the art from Jimenez,
Yep.
it was very good, and it makes a lot of the stuff in space with the fight, getting sucked out into space, the teleporter stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good motion to it. There's a lot of good sense of scale, and it feels quite epic, and all the words you want to throw at it, which is nice. So yeah, it's good. I guess the only thing I wouldn't like, I suppose, about how the Bat family are kind of been treated is that it does kind of make them all feel like they're all weaker than Batman, because Batman's going to have to save them all, kind of thing. There's a little bit of that, but it's it's Batman's book, so I suppose I can't really whinge too much about it.
I mean, Dick was Batman at one point too, so I feel like that should be that should throw Failsafe off a little bit.
I mean, Dick's at least trash talking Failsafe early on, which is nice. So well, I say trash talk. He's saying Batman will come and kick his ass. I mean, it's not really trash talk, but
he's just stating facts.
Yeah, he's spitting facts. I agree. All right, what are you giving the book, Matt? Because I don't think either of us read the backup. So.
Oh no, I read the backup.
Oh, did you? Okay, what's the backup then?
But I'll rate the main story. I'm gonna give this an 8.
Yeah, I'll just about give it the 8 as well, even though I've got some misgivings about this Gotham City stuff. The majority of it is really good. Yeah, the art's all good there. And I also wanted to comment when you brought up Jimenez. He draws Barbara in a certain outfit, and it just cracks me up because that's just how Jimenez draws her, with the collared shirt and the vest. Oh, sure, yeah.
So that's been consistent. But yeah, so this backup is a follow up to the Joker, where he's got people like hostage, and he's telling them that his chemicals can kill people instantaneously, and he understands why. That's why they're afraid of him, because it's the people that he has are pharmaceutical execs, and so he's talking about like I'm looking through here because it's I read this early in the week. But he's talking about how to be happy because they make happy pills and whatever. So that's where he compares his stuff to Big Pharma. Batman comes in and talks about how he's always prepared, but it's difficult with Joker because he's unpredictable and just a whirlwind of chaos. And he says, like, there's only one answer to this. Joker needs, and that's where the Zur-En-Arrh voice comes in and says that he needs to die. And it's him explaining why he has this creed that he doesn't kill. And it goes back to, as a kid, he's with Thomas and Martha talking about Zorro, and that his favorite part of the movie was when Zorro stabbed one of the captains. And Thomas explains to him, that killing's not the answer. And Bruce's like, oh yeah, no, I know it's not real, but I still enjoyed it. So there's a standoff with Joker and Bruce, and he's killed all of the scientists except for one. And Bruce tells him to let him go. It's with me. Joker throws these smiler rings at Bruce.
Smiler rings?
Yeah, so they're like batarangs, but they're just smiles, right?
Okay.
And so he throws at the doctor.
I do like the idea of Joker making his version of everything that Batman has just to mess with him. I do that's pretty funny. Like a Joker mobile, smiler rings.
Right? Well, no one calls them smiler rings. That was me calling them that, but because I didn't have a better term. But yeah.
The joke wing. I don't know what you call the plane, but you go.
Trying to think of like a punchline type thing before the character punchline. Anyways, so he throws these smiler rings at Bruce. Bruce grabs the doctor.
Oh, that's his zip line. Punchline. Zip line.
Punchline's the zip line. There you go. But yeah, so he goes to pull the tape off of the doctor that's all tied up, and he has a Joker smile. So he's already been infected, and Joker goes to get away. Bruce remembers his dad telling him, there's nothing worse than taking of life. And I say that as a doctor because it's my job to save lives. And then Bruce starts to get it looks like he's being affected by this Joker gas. And he sees his dad take a big smile and says, unless they deserve to die, but do they deserve it, Batman? And it's Zur-En-Arrh talking to him. And it's basically Zur-En-Arrh saying, you got to do what needs to be done. And it's at this point that the Zur-En-Arrh personality takes over. and now Bruce looks at Joker and goes, "You." And Joker looks at him and is like, "You smell like him and look like him, but you're not him, are you?" And Zur-En-Arrh tells him, "Oh, I'm him, devil. I'm the Batman, and tonight you die." And
I always like when Joker
ends.
can tell that it's not,
Yep.
it's something like, I love that he could tell Dick wasn't Bruce when Dick was Batman, or things like that. I always like the Joker. There is kind of this weird romance with him and Batman where he knows that it's not him. He can just look into his eyes and he knows it's someone else.
So, in the way that Zdarsky writes the Zur-En-Arrh, like, so the letterer makes, the bubbles purple and whatever, but it's almost like a dark version of Adam West, that's how I'm reading it. And so going forward now, that's how I'm going to read the Zur-En-Arrh, is just dark Adam West.
Okay.
So like here, he goes, "And tonight you die." I'm hearing that in that voice. And Leonardo Romero's art looks very much like Fornes doing the Rorschach stuff. So it's this very pulpy, old school style. So once he takes that evil smile there at the end, it's very sinister because it's very clean lines, but Bruce is in shadow, and he's hunched over, and just the art shifts there towards the end, whereas these very clean lines and everything's very, everything's in shade, but not like it is here on this last page. So I would go back and read the backup. It's a very good story, Zur-En-Arrh. Did you read the last one?
No, which is why I didn't read this one, because
gotcha.
I got to admit, I didn't read the last one, so that's why I didn't.
Okay. So I read that one just because I do love the Zur-En-Arrh concept, and it was Bruce weighing in on he needs this other, kind of personality to put his stuff behind all those impulses and stuff. So it kind of is like not a prequel for Failsafe, but kind of, you can see that's where the thread started. But yeah, so I'm going to give this back up also an 8. So I guess the whole book's an 8.